fact, the managers of
life, serious.
They're seeing it. Surely, are they pushing as
security
hard as
issues,
staff for things to change?
Safety for
their staff are
security guards,
or hurt, that's more
safety.
Yeah. You know, if you want to kind of go into management speak, that's still a problem, isn't it?
I think we need to base everything
prisons
on risk.
in the UK.
All too often we have large unmanageable numbers of prisoners unlocked at any one time.
UK 225.
That's one area we need to improve.
Times down the bottom.
The regime. Make sure
It's the 20. Well, it's the 30th of May today, 2025.
So, for example, staff know and pass on intelligence that the wings and the jail is full of illicit items. We know this. We know there's mobile phones in cells. We know there are drugs. We know there are weapons.
Aerodromes do it, bringing them in.
Managers are very reluctant to conduct what's called a full lockdown search, where we lock the whole jail down and search every single cell and every single area. I think that could be improved. And then, of course, we've got the threat of drones. Why are our airspaces not tightened? Why do we have ingress of drones in our prisons? Surely there must be technology out there
that
prevents drones entering airspaces. So why haven't we implemented it?
Okay.
They've got an airport.
In terms of what we've asked for the prison
joke, isn't it?
A spokesperson has said police are investigating an attack on a prison officer at HMP Long Lartin, which Charlie spoke about earlier. We will not tolerate assaults on hard-working staff and will always push for the strongest punishments against perpetrators. So those are the words. That's the intention. I think it's difficult to doubt the intention. What needs to be done to empower those prison officers further? So we've had the Justice Secretary suggesting that the use of tasers in prisons will be trialled, or it's going to be trialled. Does that encourage you?
It does, but it's only going to be trialled in a high security state because they face the greatest risk. What about everybody else? And those
We've got to start somewhere. That's the nature of the trial.
And once it's in, and we agree with that. You know, we can roll it out into the wider estate. So let's get it in first and foremost. But those words are just empty words.
It's 26 minutes to 8 AM in the morning now.
Well, that's
just on Outlook.
True because at a 10-year
on Saturday morning, 30th of May.
29 of my colleagues, each and every day, 365 days a year, are being assaulted on duty.
Okay, so when you say
that's quite horrible.
True, because zero tolerance is I will not put up with this. The implication you're saying is that they are prepared to put up with it. But they're prepared to put up with it? Is it because you think they don't care, or is it lack of resources? What is it?
I think there is an attitude amongst some senior leaders that they just don't want to upset prisoners. For example, we know our jails are awash with all kinds of illicit items, but we very rarely lock them down. We want supermax facilities. Now is the time to introduce supermax facilities so people who pose the most risks to staff are totally locked down, like the American system. Now's the time to do that. We cannot continue like this. It's only a matter of time before one of my colleagues is murdered on duty.
That's horrifying.
That's what's going to take this change of attitude?
Well, I think the attitude amongst prison ministers and secretaries of state has changed, and that's a positive.
As in they're taking it, in your view, more seriously?
They're taking it seriously, because otherwise they wouldn't be considering stat-proof vests and they wouldn't be considering power and tasers. So we've already had power rolled out in the youth custody estate, which is a positive because that's one of the most violent estates we looked after, and they're now considering tasers. But it's how long it takes to get this stuff in. It needs to be rapid.
Quickly.
It's interesting talking to you here on the sofa, Mark.
Honestly, 6 to 5, 5 to 6 months.
Thank you for joining us.
Welcome.
There you go. Just squashing on the sign, gents.